From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your morning update.
American Door Company has been family-owned and operated for over 29 years, supplying Northern California with quality garage doors, garage door openers, and installed with the best service you'd expect from a locally owned company. We serve all of Northern California from Willows all the way to the Oregon state line. Give us a call today.
Well, happy Friday morning to you. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Krueger, back from my extended vacation. And you know, as I kind of start back up here on this Friday, and of course I'm going into a weekend too, we do have some isolated coastal mountain showers to talk about here for today. Now, it should be mainly dry and mild this weekend, but breezy, borderline windy at times for some of us as well. And then really when we look at next week's weather pattern, I'm not seeing much change in that overall pattern. It looks fairly dry. But let's get you through Krueger's Quickcast. For those of you that are in a hurry, just want to know what to expect here for today, here's what we've got here. Let's get you out the door here for this morning. Now, we are going to be looking at mainly clear skies. And you can see some of those clouds kind of coming in advance of that chance for showers I was talking about. But this morning should be dry across the board. Also need to mention there's a beach hazard statement that's been issued until 6 o'clock this afternoon for the coast here. Sneaker waves, that's going to be the biggest concern here as we go through the day today. So this is that disturbance I was talking about right here. You see how it's clipping through and moving through the Pacific Northwest. That's where they're going to see rain and snow, but it will just clip Northern California and give some of us some of that shower activity. So as early as mid-morning, late morning hours, we see some showers for parts of Del Norte County, maybe even northern Humboldt County as well, but still dry for everyone else. Let's take you into around midday. Now we're starting to see it begin to enter into Siskiyou County, even parts of Humboldt County seeing some light showers as well. Then that pushes eastward. I mean, it looks like it's holding on to some of its strength. So parts of central Siskiyou County, even extreme northern Trinity County could see a chance for some showers. Snow levels, by the way, fairly high, probably above 6,000 feet. So this won't have an impact most likely on your mountain travel. And then by mid-afternoon, we see some of that pushing through Modoc County. But notice extreme northeastern Siskiyou County, Shasta County that is here. Back from vacation, got to remember all the names of everything here. But there you can see some of the showers trying to push through into the Boerne area. So yeah, I mean, if you're in northeastern Shasta County, say around Boerne, right, you may run into a stray sprinkle. But again, I think most will be to the north and east. And I do expect most of the eastern mountains will remain dry with just some clouds coming in later this afternoon. Now, we take a look at Futurecast going into your Saturday morning. Yeah, you're looking at dry conditions and even looking at mainly clear skies here along the coast. So for your Friday, you're going to be looking at, we'll call it mid and high level clouds here throughout the day today. Temperatures only reaching somewhere around 60, give or take, in the valley. Now, again, you saw where the chances for showers are into the mountains and not to mention for the coast. So we look at that 7-day outlook and we're going to start off with the valley. We're going to talk about, of course, the mainly sunny skies. Temperature is not changing much. We're talking upper 50s to around 60 for the next 7 days. Now for the coast, there's that chance for showers today, inland as well. Trinity County most likely dry, although northern Trinity County, say places like Trinity Center, for example, maybe a stray sprinkle, but otherwise dry, and then dry going into the weekend and most likely through next week as well. Now for Siskiyou, Modoc County, yeah, there's that chance for showers I was talking about. But for Susanville, I think you'll be dry today. You'll be dry through the weekend and going through next week as well. All right, that's a look at Krueger's Quickcast. As you know, we've got a major wind event, a major fire going down in Southern California. So let's take a quick look at what's going on out there here for today. You can still see the red flag warning for all of the areas in red here, which does include Los Angeles proper. We do have a wind advisory for Los Angeles proper, but a high wind warning kind of in those surrounding foothills and mountains. So still some gusty winds out there. Now, what's going on? What's happening? Why is all of this happening? Especially the fact that, you know, here in Northern California, we've seen a ton of rainfall. Now, the drought monitor is showing no drought-type conditions here for Northern California, but look at to the south, where we really haven't seen much rain. You're getting into those oranges here. That's the severe drought monitor. Now, that's the latest that came in this week. Now, take a look at the rainfall deficit, and this is just looking at the last 30 days. Once again, you look at Northern California, things are looking pretty good, although just take note, we do have a bit of a deficit here for parts of Lassen and Plumas counties. But really where we're seeing that deficit is down to the south. This is the reason why we got all the fuels for these fires to burn And on top of that, the Santa Ana winds kicked in. Now for today, you can see there are going to be some gusty winds over some of the foothills. But overall, Southern California, not looking at very strong winds here later this afternoon. But the problem is we're going to see those winds possibly pick back up over the weekend. There's Saturday. Look at the Santa Ana winds. You've got that typical wind coming in from the northeast, moving down to the south and west. Your typical Santa Ana winds kicking in here for both Saturday, and it looks like even going into your Sunday as well. So conditions don't look to improve a whole lot, unfortunately, for our neighbors down in Southern California. Now, looking at the fire weather risk, it takes in combination of the temperature, humidity, and the winds. Now, since the temperature is not going to be that bad, that's not taking into account, but you can see how it's starting to light up with some of the yellows. We're getting in that moderate to high fire weather risk here, not only for Saturday, but that may begin to light up as we go into your Sunday as well. Meanwhile, back at home, the winds are picking up later this afternoon here for the coast, also off into the eastern mountains, but not so bad in the valley here later this afternoon. However, I do expect the winds to pick up for the valley 15, 20, 25 miles an hour from the north through the weekend. Also gusty winds along the coast here. Now, let's take you into your Sunday because, the winds may die down a little bit here, but still a bit gusty at times for the valley on Sunday and even along the coast. But really, overall, we're not looking at a major wind event over Northern California. So again, I was talking about this disturbance that'll be pushing through the Pacific Northwest for today. That's where the bulk of the rain and snow will be, but we are seeing it clip Northern California. And as we saw earlier, you can see by around mid-morning, Del Norte County pushing eastward into Siskiyou County, even northern Humboldt County, but still at midday, still dry for pretty much everyone else. By around the early afternoon hours, now it's pushing through Mount Shasta, eastern Siskiyou, even Modoc County seeing some activity, and even northern Trinity County. So north of Weaverville, so places like Trinity Center, Callahan, for example, you may see a light shower. And of course, we can't forget about Scott Valley as well. Meanwhile, we take it to 3 p.m. this afternoon. Modoc County, again, even northeastern Shasta County. So around Bernie, yeah, maybe a stray sprinkle, but nothing expected heavy-wise. And there, of course, you can see the drier conditions off to the east. Then we go into your Friday night and into Saturday. Look at that. We're clearing things out. And we're going to be looking at dry conditions here along the coast as well. And, of course, we take you through the day on Sunday as well. Still looking at plenty of sunshine, and the drier conditions are in the forecast. And this dry pattern should stick around for a while. The forecast models are picking up on some light minor accumulation of that rain, but most likely less than 1/10 of an inch of rainfall in most cases. Where we could see upwards of 1/10 of an inch of rainfall is parts of Del Norte County, where I think we're going to see the bulk of that rain. So again, there's that disturbance. So we talk about these ridges of high pressure that give us the sunny skies and warm temperatures. When you get these little kinks in the jet stream like this, that's the disturbance that's pushing through Northern California today. Now, as that kind of dives down to the south and east, we have a bit of what we call an inside slider type of event, and that's what's going to allow our winds to pick up. So you see what's happening here for Saturday. You've got the ridge of high pressure, but that jet stream is kind of barreling right down on top of us. This is a bit of a classic setup for us here to give us those northerly flow of winds. Again, this is not a major wind event, but as we saw in Futurecast, there are going to be some gusty winds at times, including parts of the valley and some of the higher elevations and along the coast. That's even through Sunday. Now that starts to kind of kick on out. Now you see this little disturbance kind of pushes down. We may start off with some winds here on Monday, but then that low pressure is down to our south. Meanwhile, we've got high pressure in place. That's going to keep us, of course, with dry conditions. Now, for Southern California, we've got to watch this area of low pressure right here. This may help to still kick up some of those winds late next week, but if we're lucky, we may be able to squeeze out a few showers here by the end of next week. This is next Thursday into that next Friday. Now, this would probably be minimal impacts as far as rain is concerned and having any health, at least when we're fighting fires here. But any rainfall would certainly be a welcomed sight, but at this point, it doesn't look all that promising for much in the way of rainfall there. In the meantime, we take you back closer to home. Drier than normal conditions are in the forecast here in the extended outlook, along with cooler than normal conditions. So it's not warming up a whole lot. How are those lake levels looking? Still looking pretty darn healthy. If you ask me, we're talking over 75% in most cases with that capacity, with the historical average well over 100%. Now, we're starting to see it kind of trickle up higher, slower now, right? Because we're down to about 1/4 of a foot here for places like Lake Shasta, Trinity Lake, but almost a foot in the last 24 hours out towards Lake Oroville. All right, so let's take a look at our forecast here and start off with that ski report too. Now, we're looking pretty good out there at Mount Shasta Ski Park, about 60 inches out at the summit. You're 100% open, looking pretty good. Maybe you're heading out to some of those Tahoe regions. Looks like we're going to be pretty good there as well. All right, we mentioned this a little bit earlier. We're going to be looking at the risk for sneaker waves here later this afternoon and evening. In fact, it should expire at about 6 o'clock today. So, if you're going to be on the beach, just be aware that sneaker waves are going to be the biggest concern. That's that big rush of water, an unexpected wave that can sweep you under your feet very quickly and can become a very dangerous situation quickly as well. Here's a look at your wave heights for today, and then going into tomorrow. They do actually show signs of getting a little bit stronger for tomorrow, unfortunately, a little bit higher with those wave heights. So let's take a look at your marine forecast here for your Friday. Now, I've got those winds from the north at 5 to 10 knots. They probably will be increasing later this afternoon and evening, but still looking at mainly isolated showers. Later this afternoon and evening, we will be looking at most likely a small craft advisory as those wave heights do begin to play a little bit more of a factor here going into this evening and into tomorrow. So here's your Trinity County neighborhood forecast. Your temperatures in the 50s to around 60 for your daytime high. 56 out towards Eureka, 57 in Blue Lake, 61 for Garberville, and 58 degrees in Shelter Cove. We take you up north, 56 out towards Smith River, 55 in Gas Key, 58 for Orleans, and 56 in Hoopa. Now, as I mentioned, there's going to be some chances for some showers here by around midday. You're seeing places like Mount Shasta City, maybe seeing a shower, probably snow levels above 5,000 feet. We take a look at your Modoc County neighborhood forecast, also a chance for showers later this afternoon. Nothing heavy, nothing to write home about, nothing to cancel any outdoor plans over, but just be aware you could run into some activity here. Places like Bernie, Shingletown, Viola, Mineral, Fall River Mills, maybe a stray sprinkle. That's it later this afternoon. Otherwise, I think everyone else will be looking at dry conditions here throughout the day today. For the valley, you're dry as well. Clouds a bit on the increase later this afternoon. We'll call it just some high and mid-level clouds later today. Temperatures kind of hovering around the upper 50s to about 60 degrees for that daytime high. 58 degrees for Anderson, 55 in Whiskeytown, and 58 degrees for Palisadro. By the way, your valley neighborhood forecast is brought to you by our friends at Walgamith Painting. All right, let's take a look at your 7-day outlook for Redding. Temperatures upper 50s to about 60 pretty much for the next 7 days. Overnight lows in the upper 30s to around 40.